Hello dear friends, Salam Alaikum. Time to explore the world within ourselves. You see that it's the world within you that controls the world outside, that controls your life, your environment, your world. And it's the world within the human beings that turn our world into a paradise or a hellfire. We have known most things in our world, and therefore we are making good use of them. One world, one environment that has remained unknown to us, and therefore we have not been able to make good use of it, bring it under our control, is the world within ourselves. For that purpose, we read a few lines from the book of Rumi. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. بشنو از نی چون شکایت می کند از جدایی ها حکایت می کند. Listen to this, read how it complains. It complains about a separation. Ever since I was cut away from the reed bed, man and woman have complained about that separation. Everyone who is left far apart from his source wishes back the time when he was with the source. So we all have complaints in our lives. One time about one thing, another time about another thing. And when that missing thing is acquired, then we complain about another thing. We cannot make it a perfect life, a perfect world. Therefore, we always have complaints. When we don't have, let's say, a job, we complain about not having a job. After you get the job, you complain about that particular job. Until you're single, you complain about being single. After you get married, you complain about a married life. So long as you live in one country, you complain about that environment. When you move to another country, you wish you never moved. Then you complain about other things in the new country. So we have complaints, but we do not know the root cause of our complaints. So what does Rumi say? Rumi says that when God Almighty created you as an earthly creature, but He instilled a precious component within you from a heavenly world, from an upper world, or from within Himself. So there is an infinite difference between the environment where the soul came from and the environment where you live in right now on earth. There's an infinite difference. You don't know it. You don't remember it. But your soul remembers it. So, and that's another thing that you don't know. That your soul remembers it. And soul is complaining to you about that separation. And the soul is complaining in its own language. You don't know the soul's language. Another problem. And the remedy that you're looking for does not cure the pain of the soul, because you didn't know the language of the soul and you didn't know what the soul was complaining about. The soul is complaining about separation to you, to every human being, constantly. and we misinterpret those complaints. Otherwise, you would have been happy wherever you were, whatever job you had, in whatever environment you were. Don't you see other creatures? They are happy wherever they are, whatever food they have in their access. They have no complaints at all. Only human beings complaining always. So, since ever the soul was cut away from that heavenly, from the perfect, from the purely spiritual environment, from God Himself, and put in this earthly body and brought to this worldly life, earth. We humans, man and woman, complain. We misinterpret the complaint of the soul and translate it wrongly. So the soul, like everything else that was cut away from the source, it will always complain to you to help it reunite with the source. So you either do not listen to the complaints and feel lonely as a result, feel anxious, feel anxiety, feel stressed, get depressed, or you listen to the complaints, learn the language of the soul, and learn about it, learn about yourself. As much as you know the language of your physical body, of your stomach, when it tells you that I am hungry, and you provide it with the appropriate food, with the appropriate amount of food, and other needs, learn the language of the soul. And when it complains, and that complaint is manifested in you as an unhappiness, in a time when you want to be happy, all of a sudden you feel unhappy. In a time when you are with people, all of a sudden you feel lonely. These are the times that soul is talking to you. Soul is telling you that you have taken care of your body, of your ego, of your worldly needs, but take care of me too. So the soul needs to be nourished. The nourishment of the soul is mentioning God's names, keeping in connection with our beloved Creator, observing God's artwork, creativity in the creation, and serving others for the purpose of pleasing God Almighty. So the soul wants to reunite with the Creator, with God Almighty. You cannot go up there physically, but what you could do is to communicate with Him, connect with Him, and feed your soul. That will remove your anxiety, stress, feeling of boredom, loneliness, and will make it a perfectly balanced life, spiritual and physical. Will make you a happy person. What all the human beings are looking for at the cost of expenditures of millions and billions of dollars, but they do not achieve it because their lives are imbalanced. They respond to the needs of the body and the ego, but they do not understand the language of the soul, the needs and desires and the wishes of the soul. May God Almighty help us learn about ourselves, about our soul, about where the soul came from, and the nourishments of our soul. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.